Welcome to the Online Learning Consortium's workshop on creating rubrics. Rubrics are guidelines which clearly identify how a learning activity will be assessed. They lay out the expectations for the student regarding what an instructor is looking for from an assignment. A well-designed grading rubric is typically developed in alignment with a set of learning objectives or competencies for a particular course or program. The rubric makes it easier for students to understand how to approach an assignment, and the rubric also makes it easier for instructors to assess an assignment in a fair manner. Rubrics can also help instructors to grade more quickly. Rubrics should be designed to align with the learning objectives you set out for in your course. Aligning the rubric with the objectives in this way ensures that you are assessing students on whether or not they are able to achieve those stated learning objectives. This helps to demonstrate the effectiveness of your instruction. This also helps students to understand what they need to improve upon or review in order to successfully meet the outlined learning objectives for the course. Rubrics also help to maintain consistency across your grading of all students. Rubrics help the instructor to focus in on the main objectives of an assignment and make sure each student is meeting them. Measuring each student's performance in relation to the rubric ensures that all students are assessed in the same manner. Rubrics help to support the grades that you give students on their assignments by providing the why behind your grades. Providing your rubrics up front for your students also has the benefit of providing them with a detailed look at what you are requiring in the assignment. This can often help students to provide better work and keep them from getting distracted by issues that are not pertinent to the task at hand. Providing these expectations is particularly useful in the online environment where students do not have the advantage of a classroom setting where they can ask their questions about assignments face-to-face to their instructors. A rubric should be designed like a grid. Down the side of the grid, you place the dimensions on which you will assess the student. The dimensions should be tied to the objectives for the assignment and tie back to the bigger picture course learning objectives. Across the top, you will place the scale. The scale provides students with an understanding of the quality of their work. You can determine the number of levels in your scale. Typically 3 to 5 is appropriate. Each level should be assigned a percentage of the possible points. In the example shown, poor results in a score of 0, moderate results in 50% of the points, and excellent yields the full possible points for the student. The column on the far right should contain the possible points, and this is also where you can enter in each student's score. You should complete the table by entering in what the student will need to do in order to achieve a specific rating on the scale for each dimension. You will use these criteria later to quickly assess the student using the rubric. There should be a clear variation in each level of data, making it easy for students to understand what differentiates one level from another. If you are having difficulty articulating the difference between each level, you may have too many levels in your scale. After you've designed your rubric, go back over it and ask the following questions. What do I want to assess with this assignment? Make sure that you've identified all the key points of the assessment in your rubric, and that you are measuring the right things based on the objectives you had set forth for the assignment. Do I provide enough detail for the students? By including detail in your description of each dimension, you help the students to understand what you're looking for in their assignments and thereby help them to focus their work. Will the scale encourage students to improve their performance? The scale should be designed and named in a way that encourages students to continuously improve their work and submit stronger assignments as the term goes on. Are the points distributed appropriately? While it may seem straightforward to divide the points for an assignment evenly throughout the dimensions of your rubric, it often makes more sense to assign different weight to each dimension depending on the scope of work needed to successfully meet the requirements for the assignment. For example, you may count the statement of the problem in an essay to be just a few points, while the analysis of the main arguments would be worth a larger number of points. Is it clear how to move from level in the scale up to the next? Finally, you'll want to make sure that the differences in the scale are clear enough for both you as the grader and for your students to understand. There should be a very apparent difference in each level which shows the marked improvement from the prior level. This will help students to understand what they must do to achieve success in the assignment.